everyone and welcome. Today we are making bone broth and it's such an amazing drink. So bone broth will provide you a lot of nutrients, collagen, and it's amazingly gut healing. So stay tuned if you want to know how. So today we are making bone broth and there are some simple steps that is so important to have. And as long as you follow those, you will have such an amazing bone broth and it will really pull out all the nutrients that you will need. I have spent so many years trying to get this right and researching, and I finally have such an amazing way to do this. So what you will need is that we will have 1 kilo of bones, and the sequence of making bone broth is really important if you want to have the best bone broth and you want to have it amazingly. So you really want to watch this video to actually go through everything. So what you will do is that you will have these into your casserole and you will have to pour on some water first and then cook it for about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes on pretty high heat. And that is just like to skim off all the nasty stuff on it. So it's like a blanching method, and you do not want to skip this part because if you notice sometimes when you're drinking broth, it's like this distinguishing kind of weird taste on it. Well, you probably didn't blanch. So your bones are in the casserole and you would just simply cover the bones. You do not want to have too much water on, just about, let's see if you can see this. So the bones are just covered. And what we'll do then is we'll have it on the stove, crank up the heat, and take a lid. So now this will be on for 15-20 minutes and then we'll see what is the next step. So after the blanching is done and your bones now have like a lot of, you see all the threads and stuff. So this is like the nasty part that you do not want to use. So the next step that we will do is that we will roast the bones. And we'll have a casserole. And what you will do now is that you will simply just take your bones out of the water and place it in your casserole. So what we have done now is that we have gotten rid of all the nasty parts. If you want to see here, like it's not that nice. So this is the first step. So the second step is that we will have it into the oven and we will roast the bones. So if you have it on like 220 degrees Celsius and you will have it in for about 15 minutes, just pay attention because it varies from the oven. So what you want to have is that you want to get this kind of roasting on the top, and you will just pull out so much flavors. And I want to show the camera the bones like this. So pop it into the oven, 15 minutes, and then the next step. You do not want to miss these. Okay, so the roasting now is done, and this is how these looks. It really smells nice, and you see like there is this roasted surface and a lot of fat coming out, and this roasting part will just help bring all the flavors out. So do not skip it, repeat after me, we will roast our bones. It just brings out a whole new level of the broth. So what we will do now is that we will have all of these into our casserole and really get everything out. So everything on the bottom of the pan here, just scrape it out. You really want to limit down what you will have into the bone broth. So I normally just have a few things that I will do, and I will have salt and peppercorns. So these will go in, and I will have some garlic. That is something that I have. A couple of bay leaves is good. An onion, and you will use everything on it. And you can also choose, if you like, to have a stalk of celery or a carrot or two, but that will bring out a lot of sweetness to it. So that depends which way you want to go with the broth. What I always use in the broth is, ta-da-da! You cannot see it, but it's apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar have so many amazing benefits in its own. It will help pull out all the minerals, even more nutrients, and you will not taste the vinegar when it's done. So apple cider vinegar, that is such a must. We'll just pour in the salt and pepper, put that in. Take your onion, chop it in half, and then once more. So this is everything that you need, just 4 pieces. Put everything on, put it in. The bay leaves goes in like that. You take your garlic, squeeze them, squeeze the other one, chop it in half. And you want to use everything, so use everything like this. Ta-da! Put it in, magic. So just cover up with water until the bones are covered but not floating, so like that. And then you put on the apple cider vinegar. And now what you will do is that you will take on a lid, you will boil it, have it on a boil, lower the heat, make it simmer, and then you want to have it on the plate and cook for about 4 hours. So it's not to cook intensely, but just really, really low to simmer. So boil it up, lower the heat, let it simmer about 4 hours. And what you will do then is that, because normally when you are making a bone broth, is that you want to ideally have it cooking or simmering for 12 to 24 hours. And how are you going to do that? So what you will do is that you will use your oven. You will have it on a really low heat, just like 100 degrees Celsius. And you will put the casserole in, have the lid almost covering, just like having a small grip on the pan. And you will just have it there, and it will be simmered, and it will be super nice, and you will bring out all the deliciousness. But do not have it more than 24 hours, that is the maximum. And it should not be less than 12 hours. So that is to really get everything out. Once you are done with the cooking and the simmering in the oven, you really want to do this last part. And that is, when everything is done, you take 1 handful of ice cubes and you will put into the broth. Because what that will do is that it will not make any bacteria grow in your pot. So that is a really crucial step, and it's not a problem with the broth, even though you are having a little bit of ice cubes in that. So that is a step that you really, really want to do. So I will put this on, and then you will see how everything goes. So there you have it, amazing bone broth, and it's filled with amazingness and nutrients and minerals. So go and make it today, and I will see you next time. Bye!